This work will change everyone's life. All it takes is to show up and receive this amazing transmission. And of course, what's happening that we are rising, rising, and rising. And always remember this. We are always rising, and then it's infinite. We can infinitely rise. We become one with cosmos. Cosmos is infinitely expanding. And so the room for expansion is infinite. We just need to get to that place of lightness. And so you heard Oren say, our personality becomes a channel for divine will. And so that's very important. The personality becomes a channel for divine will. And when that happens, we start fully embodying our divine self. As you know, our divine self is the highest aspect of your being. I mean, this is the first time in this civilization that this is really easy and possible to become your divine self. I'm going to explain a little bit, if you don't mind, about the difference between dimensions and parallel realities, which might be very helpful to us. You can think of dimensions as a tall building with 11 floors. Each floor is very large and has many rooms. Each room on that floor is a parallel reality to other rooms. So you have many rooms on each floor. They are simply parallel because they are on the same floor, but they are parallel realities. Now, each floor has different conditions. The floors, 11 floors, the easiest conditions are on the 11th floor, where all is illuminated and yet still separate from source with a very thin layer that is transparent. So you can say it's glass, it's crystal, you can see through it. There are no walls. It's all just light. Now, each floor has different conditions. I mean, the difference between the 3rd floor and the 5th floor, it's very different conditions. So those are the different conditions within dimensions, very different conditions. But within the floor, let's say here in the 3rd floor, you will get so many rooms, and each room is a reality. Does that make sense? And so then the rooms also have different things happening, but within the same conditions. So the conditions are very contracted in the 3rd dimension, but it doesn't mean that one room should not be having a great time. And so, yeah, we do choose our room within the dimension. So let's say there are 100 rooms within the 3rd floor, and one room figured out how to have the best time ever. Those guys are you and me, having a wonderful time. We are laughing, we are dancing, we are singing, we are celebrating life with ambrosia, the divine nectar. And in that room, we all like each other. And it is like an ecosystem where everything is thriving. We have biodiversity, we have diversity. It means every single one of us is unique, but at the same time, we celebrate our differences. That room exists right now. There are many rooms that exist right now in this dimension. Isn't that incredible? And when you travel out of body, you get to visit all of them if you want to. And you get to see that you can actually be in all of them. But then for some reason, you decided to focus in this one. And it could be that you simply are here on a mission to bring this balanced ecosystem here too. And do you know why? This is why. We, as a collective, decided to do this together. And the goal is to learn how to create and do it well. And so we are figuring it out together. We have collective situation, which is we are in the same room, but we also have personal situation. We are also responsible for our own being. And so the idea that we create harmony within our room. When we create harmony, we create peace. Peace and harmony is the altar the eye of God looks and says, it requires peace and harmony for the eye of God to truly enter. And so it doesn't matter how long it takes us because time doesn't exist, but the goal is already given. The goal is that you and me figure it out. It's like like a puzzle piece. What is it called? Like a puzzle. We need to figure out this puzzle. How do we bring our collective in this reality to be harmonious? And maybe first we kill each other, but because we are infinite beings, we keep going back to the situation until we figure it out. And so we are supposed to figure it out. And again, it doesn't matter if first we have to go through like big struggle, because the goal is already given and the solution already exists in the room next door. And that is, you and me have figured it out. That also is, yeah. That also is a reality. It's always, we can call it timelines. So Source already knows one day we will figure it out. And what it takes is up to us. Do we need cataclysms to love each other? Do we need, horrible things happening first and then loving each other? Do we need war and then coming to peace? Or do we choose peace now? And so it's amazing. So our new Earth is on the 5th floor, but we are still on the 3rd floor. But within the 3rd floor, we already have figured it out. And now we are just doing it here too. Because, every piece of energy we have ever used has to be transmuted into love. Finally, for the system to be upgraded, every room, which is every timeline, every parallel reality, needs to figure it out so that no energy, no mess is left behind. This is what Yogananda said. No mess left behind. And so we are here. That's why he was like, you guys are cleaners. He was talking to me. He was like, you came to clean up the mess. But at the same time, as we are cleaning up, it's important we don't make more mess. And at the same time, as we are cleaning up, we are creating harmony, and peace. And so it really starts with us, right? End conflict within yourself, end conflict within your communities, promote peace to all. And some of our brothers and sisters simply will not get it. But that's why Babaji, for example, dedicated himself to staying in this room with us until the last troublemaker comes to peace and harmony. Isn't that amazing? We now know the reason why. Because if you have one troublemaker in one room, then the whole collective is in trouble still. And so we are that collective in that one room with some troublemakers. And so that's why, that's why. Isn't that amazing? So think about it, the power of your consciousness when you figured it out for yourself and you go, aha, I got it. But now everyone needs to internally figure it out too, because you can't do it for the others. You just can't do it. There's no way. You cannot go to someone who's a troublemaker and say, please be peaceful. It's important that we have a peaceful collective. It will not work, will it? And that's why self-realization is so important. As long as one of us is not self-realized, that person is the bad apple. The troublemaker has a free will. And so, imagine the frustration when 99 of us, it's an example, in that room already blissing out in nirvana, and then one troublemaker is there kicking and screaming. It's not going to be ideal, is it? And so, my loves, this is why we here. This is our room. You know, it is all just realities that we are dreaming together. But that's why it's so important that we clean up and not make more mess and get it and say, ah, it is peace that holds the key to heaven. And so it is.